Hello everyone, good evening. Welcome to Talking Reds, where we bring the latest news and transfer news on Liverpool and much more on here as well. We're going to a few things tonight. A few people have come up today in reports. Jean-Philippe Mateta, obviously of Crystal Palace. We're a little bit on Hugo Ekitike, Newcastle fans. I'm going to say another player very quietly for Newcastle fans, which could lead to Isak. I say very quietly because I don't want to talk about Isak very much because Newcastle fans don't like it. But yeah, we're going to speak about Hugo Ekitike, what it could mean for Armando Isak. A little bit on Rodrigo. Rodrigo has been linked to a move to Liverpool. The situation with off to Napoli.
Demo, your mic's playing up and your laptop again.
More on that as well. And how are you feeling tonight, you two? It's cooled down a little bit in UK.
Yeah, your hamsters died again.
I'm guessing I have cut off somewhere.
The connection.
The connection's gone.
Back in?
No.
Are we back in?
I think you're just frozen.
It's just your camera.
Your camera's froze.
Oh no.
Yeah, join back. Anyway, chat, how is everyone? Everyone okay in the chat? I don't know if anyone's in there yet, but
Yeah.
let's see who's there. Keep it going.
Yeah. The show must go on. Technology for you.
Yep, exactly. We're back.
Yeah.
We're back. Sorry, guys, I do apologise for that. But yeah, we are back. So obviously we're going to be talking about a little bit on Ekitike. Nunez as well. Is he in? Is he out? We don't know. Is it a shake all about with Nunez? We don't know what's going on with Darwin Nunez. Napoli, obviously, the other day were reported to pull out of Nunez, but he's still waiting for them according to reports. So let's get into the guy on the thumbnail, and that is Rodrigo of Real Madrid. According to Diario AS, which is a Spanish outlet, Liverpool want to sign Rodrigo. So Rodrigo of Real Madrid is certainly a wanted target around Europe. I've got to say that. Real Madrid, we didn't know where we were going to go, where we were going to stay or not. At one point, Real Madrid were happy to
Damo,
keep him.
I think you should do it on your phone.
Now,
I think you should do it on your phone.
they look like they are wanting to get rid of him.
No, he's gone.
Right, we'll talk about it anyway.
Yeah. Obviously, Rodrigo wanted everywhere, as you said, around Europe, in the Premier League, Arsenal, Barcelona, bloody wherever. I'd love him at Liverpool. What do you think?
I don't know. I'm a bit like mixed bag on it, really. Like, I think he's good. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a brilliant player, but I'm a bit of a mixed bag on it. Like, I don't know whether like he'd come in and be. It's difficult, isn't it? Because at the current moment in time, we have a very good plethora of left wingers in Diaz, Gakpo, Rio Engamoa as well. Like,
yeah,
I feel like you've got all them. You know, obviously he's covered for the right mainly, isn't he, for Salah? But
yeah,
I don't know. It's a difficult one because it would be obviously a very big advantage of him coming in because he is good, but
yeah.
There's a few question marks around him, like, you know, the backpedaling on the Real Madrid thing and stuff like that. And, you know, some players, when you get them from clubs like Real Madrid, they don't particularly do well sometimes. I run the risk of any player with that, but because they've already been at like a club like Real Madrid, I've already made it, you know what I mean, sort of thing. You know, like, it's difficult, isn't it? Because like there's good examples like Ozil, like he was great for Arsenal, like he come and he was him. Trying to think. Higuain after he left, he was very good as well.
Yeah.
But then there's like the other side of it, and they're like I'm trying to think of an example, but there's a few, but I can't think off the top of my head. But when they leave, they're not the same. You know, do you know what I'm trying to say?
The player they was, yeah. I think him coming to Liverpool as well will be a wage issue as well because he's on such high wages at Madrid. Obviously, we don't tend to give out massive wages. It's well known, obviously, with the Diaz and Konate stuff that is going on. So I think that'll be a big factor as well. But I think looking at it on paper, I actually did a bit of research earlier. You've got Rodrigo last season, 54 games, 25 goal involvements. Compare that to what we've already got on the left with Gakpo and Diaz. Gakpo, 49 games, 25 goal involvements, and the same for Diaz. So looking at it on paper, is it an upgrade or is it just a sidestep? Like, is it someone we actually need? I think if Diaz goes, we should definitely try and get someone on the wing. But then looking at Rodrigo, he is going to cost upwards of 50, 60, 70 mil. So it's one of them.
Why do you think Konate would be part of a deal potentially with Rodrigo?
Well, I was thinking that because if you what's Konate's value? Probably 60 mil, 50, something like that.
I think.
And then what are they going to value Rodrigo at? Could do a swap, then maybe a bit of cash on top as well.
It's weird with Konate though, because like if he had a contract of like 4 or 5 years, you're talking 70, 80 million, aren't you? Like easy, like
because there's only a year left. It puts it all up in the air.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I was thinking about this today. I wasn't Damo, like, you know, in the world centre backs in the top 10, Konate goes into the top 10. I think anyone in the top 10 is 70, 60 million. You know, that benchmark for it. Now it is. It would never used to be, but now it is. No. You know, Leipzig won 70 million for the Cable. Like, you know, he's find the potential, but he's not in the top 10 yet. But I don't know. I'd be happy if it was a swap, maybe for Konate, and we get Guéhi. But I think if we're not assured that we're going to get Guéhi, I think it's a huge risk to like go and do that deal and not have something already in the works. You know, to
100%.
I think Guéhi's a must, regardless of Konate. I think not Guéhi specifically. I want it to be Guéhi. I won't mind being Mark Guéhi in, but we definitely need to set about regardless of what happens to Konate. If Konate does go, hoping not, but if it does go, I think the Guéhi deal gets sped up a little bit because it becomes a must rather than a need.
Yeah, definitely need another centre back. Obviously, with Quansar going as well, who else can really play there? Joe Gomez, but like, come on.
Is Joe Gomez? He's good, but you can't rely on him.
Can't rely on him, no.
Injuries as well, and if we're going to be going for Champions leagues and stuff, you can't rely on that for 50-game season.
No, you know, I read something about Joe Gomez. He's only ever managed in the last, like, I think it was 4 seasons or something like that. He's only ever managed like 20 games or something max. Like in his last 4. I think it's the last 4 years. I think it was the last 4. It was after his knee injury. You know, when he got his so he's only had like 20 games max a season, which is obviously not the best. But you know, if Guéhi does come in, Gay's got a pretty decent injury record, and you know, splitting it between Konate and Joe Gomez, it's not the worst thing in the world. I think it's pretty decent. You know, Gomez does the cup games, and you know, his usual right back and left back cover when he
yeah.
But I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on at the minute, and like it's weird, isn't it? Because it's gone radio silent, sort of, with Liverpool. In terms like Guéhi's gone silent. It's gone silent in Isak. It's gone silent on other signings as well. You know, I was obviously looking at that young lad in Italy. That's gone a bit quiet, hasn't it, the last couple of days?
Yeah.
What's his name? I forgot his name now. Oh. Anyway, it's gone a bit quiet. Does that? I mean, get on to your next point, Damo. Does that mean there's something in the works?
Fingers crossed.
With a certain player that I'm not allowed to talk to because Newcastle fans kick up a fuss. We can go to that. Also, we'll talk about the Konate just a second. Just one thing on Konate. What Liverpool were expecting really was at least £45 million. I don't think they're going anything less than that regarding Konate. So what you'd need to add to that to get a Rodrigo, answers on the postcard, please. But yeah, certainly we'll go on to Hugo Ekitike, and obviously 2 players today we have been linked to in terms of striker position as well was Mateta. So yeah, Hugo Ekitike, according to Fabrizio Romano, they are pushing for the signature of Ekitike at Newcastle, and it is getting closer as well. They've also, according to reports, made a bid for Hugo Ekitike. I think the round fee is about £70 million is what's been spoken about by Sky Sports. And there is a super agent on it. So Ali Barat, who is a super agent on the deal, trying to get it done. Newcastle really are looking like they're going to get Ekitike over the line. Where does that leave Newcastle fans? Like I say it very, very quietly. Where does that leave a certain Alexander Isak, boys? Where does it leave him?
I don't know. I don't really understand that signing, to be perfectly honest. You've got Isak, one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the world at the minute. Bringing in Ekitike, who, for me personally, I've done a video about it on my channel. I don't want him anywhere near Anfield. So if he goes to Newcastle, that's weight off our shoulders, I guess. But yeah, it's such a weird one at the minute with Ekitike. He's been linked with, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Newcastle. He's gonna get a move, 100%. But yeah, I don't get the Newcastle one. I really don't.
Naj, the report yesterday said, this is a report coming, I think it was Sam can't think who it was. Someone at the reports of the Telegraph. It was Sam Wallace, who was very, very well known up in Tyneside. And he said that they're bringing Ekitike in to play alongside Isak. Maybe competition, but not play alongside him. Surely not.
I've got an, I don't know. Look, my mind's telling me no. I'm really on the song, man. No, my mind's telling me, why on earth would Ekitike go and play second fiddle? For his career, he's got all these clubs after him. He goes to Arsenal, he goes to, I don't know, let's another example, Juventus, something like that. He starts, any of them clubs, he starts, like Champions League clubs. They're in there every single year. He goes to United, he starts. I mean, they're not the Champions League, but he starts every week. United, they're still a big club at the end of the day. Why would he go to, no offense to Newcastle, club that's not retained top 4 ever? Why would he go to that club and play second fiddle to Isak, and especially for the amount of money, like a lot of money? Like we spoke about this. We would not mind. I don't want Ekitike as Liverpool starting striker. I've been so adamant on that. I don't want him to be starting striker. If we bought him as a backup, oh yeah, that's fine, but not for that price. So why would Newcastle, who are not in the same position as Liverpool, they've won the Carabao Cup, why would they go and spend 75 million on a backup when we wouldn't do it? We wouldn't do it. We just won the league. So a point, something needs to be sold. I seen on Twitter just before I come on, actually, Elanga, Ekitike, Trafford, I think it's like 160 mil or something like 150 mil.
On 7 mil, about that, yeah.
170 mil on all them. So,
and they are good signings, and I think they're doing the right thing. If they somehow keep Isak, then I think it's a brilliant window so far for Newcastle. If they can keep Isak and have Isak and Ekitike as a competition, I think that's brilliant for them. I think that's brilliant depth going into the Champions League, obviously. And like you said, we'd have taken Ekitike if he came along with another striker. He's not the main guy to rely on. He's still a potential striker, but the guy that is the main striker right now is Isak. He's not going to get in front of Isak, let's be honest. This leaves... Is this the door that Liverpool have been waiting for? I've been saying for a long time, if the door opens even slightly, Liverpool push it a little bit. If they get the green light for Isak, they will go for it. And Newcastle fans have been literally like this. They've not been happy about us talking about Isak. Liverpool fans talking about Isak, but that's just what it is. None of us on this channel, by the way, have never ever said that Isak's coming.
No.
I still think it's more hope than expectation at the moment.
Yeah, it's a wish.
I don't even think it's hope. I think there's something there. I definitely think there's no smoke without fire. I've said this a lot of times. Like, I think there's got to be something there for Liverpool to be linked with Isak. It's not as linking with someone to be like a smokescreen for someone else. There's links there for an obvious reason. Liverpool need a striker. Who's the best striker in the league? It's Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Liverpool not gonna buy Haaland from City. That's just not gonna happen. They'd never sell to him. It just wouldn't happen anyway. Isak is a club where, he can remain for an extra year of his contract. He could potentially win maybe another FA Cup or retain European qualification. Or does he leave, go to Liverpool, where there's a chance of winning the Champions League, there's a chance of winning the Premier League, a higher chance than there is at Newcastle, and that's just what it is. I think that's what Newcastle don't want to not all Newcastle fans. I think some of them don't want to hear that. It's just the reality of the situation. We had exactly the same scenario with Coutinho. We didn't want to go, but at the end of the day, I was like, listen, if he wants to go to Barcelona, so be it.
Yeah.
Never look back. We never ever look back.
No.
Might not happen the same in Newcastle. They might not do what Liverpool did. I don't think they could under Eddie Howe, to be honest. I don't think he's that level, of manager. But who's to say that, they retain Champions League, they sell Isak, and then they go into with a lot more money to spend. PSR is not an issue. They go and get a new manager potentially, and they start banging on the door of we're winning more trophies. They were banging on the door of winning the Premier League, and I think that's what you've sort of got to look towards the side of that, rather than looking at I've got to hold on to him. It's not the be all and end all. Newcastle hold on to Isak. Newcastle's best part of the team's in midfield. No one's talking about that. If someone bought one of them, I think that would be more of a. It sounds weird because Isak is the best player, but if someone bought Guimaraes, that's the whole. They've got to rebuild everything again. That midfield completely again. If they lose Isak, they go and get Ekitike. He's 22. He might work. He might not. They've still got options there. Elanga played a lot up front as well with Chris Wood this season.
Elanga's a brilliant buy, I think.
Great signing. Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting at the minute to see. I just think there's no smoke without fire. That's all I'm going to say on it. I'm going to say.
Yeah. It's going to bring this up by Burton Java, who says here, Rodrigo, Isak, Mo, 4-3-3 with Vert behind number 10. Don't give him Liverpool. That front four there, for me, I know PSG get highlighted as probably the most scariest attack in world football right now. PSG are seen as the pinnacle right now, bar Cole Palmer. But yeah, if Liverpool got that front four with Rodrigo and Isak, with Salah and Wirtz, for me, that instantly becomes the best front four in world football.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be. And also, Real Madrid's got a good one, obviously, with Bellingham, Mbappe, Vinicius, and whoever play. Other play right now. I know they sometimes play Rodrigo, sometimes play Rodrigo. Hendrick sometimes gets a game.
They change it around, don't they?
They do. They haven't really got a solid right wing, have they? That's why Rodrigo is looking to go out, really. But Jonathan, who is our resident Newcastle fan that comes in pretty much all the time, don't you, Jonathan? How are you doing tonight, mate? Highlights, how's it going? Just to say, Isak is not going to leave for nobody. Jonathan, the thing is with Jonathan, right? He actually comes in here and he actually has a good chat about it. And this is the thing. What I'm not getting with most Newcastle fans. Nigel back this up right now. The tweet we put out earlier is, about we put something about Mateta, and then Ekitike was it Mateta or Ekitike? I said no, about Mateta. We put a tweet out about Mateta, and then we said, but number one is still Isak, and we had Newcastle fans going in the comments stop talking about us. It's we're going to talk about players that we're linked with. Do talk about Ekitike. That's just the way it is. We're not saying we're going to buy him. We're not saying. At the end of the day, we're going to talk about the players that we're linked with, and the reports and the reliable reports for quite a while now that Isak is our number one target for up front. Are we going to get him? Who knows? But right now, the odds are we're not going to get him. But we're certainly there or thereabouts if he does become available. And what this Ekitike signing does do, and despite the report of yesterday saying there's going to be competition, I can't see it being competition.
at Newcastle?
No.
It's different to have Ekitike and Isak at Liverpool challenging for titles where you need to play a little bit more depth in big games. But at Newcastle, it's different. You want to be the main guy at Newcastle. And is Ekitike going to be the main guy at Newcastle with Isak there? The answer is no.
It makes no sense, does it? Like, from a business point of view, no sense.
If he was a different kind of striker, it makes sense, but it's not.
Yeah,
It's a similar profile. That's why Liverpool are looking at them both.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, Isak is light years away from Ekitike in terms of the way he performs, but to me makes no sense. I always look at the model of us over the last 8-9 years, Liverpool. Don't think about the Nunez sort of era. Well, you can if you want to, but when Klopp come in, we had Origi and Sturridge. Sturridge went because he was getting on and his legs were going. Then we kept Origi. For me, that's a sort of backup striker you have. Someone who's reliable, but not who's broke the bank and stuff. I know Origi was there in 2014 and stuff like that. But Klopp was happy having Firmino and Origi for years, wasn't he? He didn't look at getting anyone else. And obviously then we got Nunez, and it was Nunez and Firmino as the two, and then obviously Jota come in as well, actually. Sorry. Jota come in 2020 as well. So we had Jota, Origi, Firmino. Obviously Jota was bought as a forward though, because he can play across.
Yeah.
But we had completely different strikes in Firmino and Origi. The Wolves game when Firmino was not at it, Origi come on and score. Obviously there's so many good moments with Divock Origi. But that's what we was a big club operating in Champions Leagues and Premier League, and we didn't have a striker who was so expensive to do you know what I mean? We wouldn't. It was enough to rely on rather than having someone who's sat on your bench who's 75 million, 80 million. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Shocking.
Jake, that is the dream front three, though, isn't it? With Wirtz behind right now.
That's a wish. Yeah, that would be absolutely amazing. But as we said, Isak, it's a massive wish. But with the Ekitike thing going on, I mean, it does open a door, as you said. So there's always hope there. I just find it silly, as Nard was saying, they're going to spend that much money on a backup or mess up the system. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Obviously, he is an upgrade. Is Callum Wilson still there? I don't even know if he is.
Well, yeah, Callum Wilson will be moved on. He'll be moved on.
That's going to be an upgrade on him. But spending that much money on a backup, it's silly. As Nard said, we had for years, it was Firmino, Origi, just rotating. Obviously, we had Mane and Salah as well, who were more goal scorers than Firmino. He was more like the assister. So, but I don't get it.
I think as well, what Nard said there is it just adds to the hope. That's all it does, Newcastle fans. That's all it does. All we are right now with Isak, it is more hope than expectation to happen. He is number one target. We don't think it might happen, but the Ekitike news is doing is adding to the hope. Yeah. Because like we're saying, it makes no sense to pay £75 million for a backup striker.
No.
Therefore, if Ekitike is coming in, he's not going to go straight back out, is it? It's going to be someone else going to go out, and could be Alexander Isak. And who's going to buy Alexander Isak? Right now, we probably are favourites to do with that. Arsenal retire Gyökeres, they're not going for a striker now.
No.
Unless to get someone that's a bit uncommon, but I doubt it. But yeah, we're the ones that are looking for a striker. We're the ones that have already highlighted him being a number one target. Therefore, we would be the first to sign him if he is to leave. And if he is to leave, then expect him to go. And I dread to think what Newcastle fans would be like if he actually did leave, because they're bad enough now. But if he did leave, it'd be a meltdown. But yeah, going on to another striker that we've been linked with today, which Jean-Philippe Mateta of Crystal Palace was reported earlier from a journalist from Foot Mercato. So that's a French outlet. So also Jean-Philippe Mateta is French himself. So they might have links to the player. According to that report, is that Liverpool have met with his agents, Mateta and his agents in Paris over a move to Liverpool. There's no reports of any numbers flying around, anything like that, how much he would cost. But, it's not the worst. I don't think it's the worst link ever, Jake, if I'm honest. I really do. I quite like Mateta. is not Isak, but I do really like Mateta. If we would need, obviously we needed a striker regardless of anything. Would he be a good option for you?
Like I say, I wouldn't mind Mateta. I think, he's 28, Premier League proven, he's ready to go. I think if you're going for leagues and stuff, which we are, we kind of can afford to rely on youngsters, but Mateta, he'll be straight in. There's no settling in period. There's no, he's young, he's growing, give him time. It's just, he's straight in. It would be, awful for Crystal Palace, because they're potentially looking at a window. They're in Europe now, potentially losing the three best players of Eze, Mateta, and Mark Guehi. So it's a shame for them, but that is football. The top teams like Liverpool, we can get who we want, essentially. As big headed as that sounds, the badge, the club, it's so attractive. Obviously, no disrespect to Palace, but we are just a much bigger club. So I think Mateta could look at that, and we've been in Champions League finals the past 4 or 5 years, always competing for the Prem, always in Europe. He could be ready for that step up.
Jonathan said, "I've got nothing to say bad about Liverpool Football Club." Absolutely, Jonathan. It's absolutely fine. At the end of the day, it's nice for rivals to come in here and discuss things over, because out there people don't want to discuss certain things. But this is what football's all about: bringing fans together from different teams and bantering and having a laugh and just enjoying football together as a football community. I think it's absolutely brilliant. So I appreciate you coming in, Jonathan. I do absolutely do as a Newcastle fan. But yeah, regarding Mateta though, Naj, proven. I know it gets banded around quite easily, doesn't it? Proven Premier League player. He's got Premier League experience, and that can be banded about anyone that's played in the Premier League ever. But Mateta's actually done it well in the Premier League. That's a big difference.
Mm. I mean, look, I really like Mateta. I'm not gonna lie, I do. I think he's a brilliant player. I think he brings people into play so well. He's so good at holding the ball. Obviously, he's huge, isn't he? He's like 6'4", isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's an absolute nightmare. You see players playing against, you see like defenders playing against, and they hate it because he's just a lump. And that's a bit of discredit actually. He's good on the ball as well, but he's just a very physical forward, isn't he? I do like him, but I just fail to. I don't know. I fail to see where he fits at Liverpool. Really, is it a stopgap player?
Yeah.
Waiting for next year. I'm going to say, Isak. As a stopgap player, I don't mind it. I think it's good. But I don't know whether that's the move going forward, because I think you'd have to change too much for Mateta to be.
And it depends how much it costs as well.
Yeah. If it's 40 million, go for it. If it's anything more than that, but I've got a feeling, because he's literally Crystal Palace's goal scorer, and he scores everything for them.
Yeah.
You're looking at 60 plus, I think.
His market value is actually 30 million euros.
Is
so you're talking what? About 25, 24 million pounds?
Nowhere near that. I think it's well more than that.
19... That's his market value, but that's not what Crystal Palace will ask for him. I mean, I think Guehi's is like 40 million euros, which is about 36 million pounds.
Yeah.
But Crystal Palace are asking for that for Guehi. They'll ask for at least 50 mil Mateta.
Yeah. Well, Mateta as well, it cost him 30 odd million. It wasn't cheap, it cost him quite a bit of money. I think it was like 35, 36 million or something when they bought it. But I
can find out for you.
Mateta, a mad stat out Mateta, and I think it's true still actually. There's only Salah that scored more goals than him since, I think it was last season. So his numbers are silly, really. In terms of, I think it's last year. I don't know if it's from a certain point of last year, but I remember it flashing up towards the end of the season. There's only Mateta scored as many goals or something in games. So his record's brilliant. He's got a great.
Yeah.
He knows where the back of the net is. Look, as a stopgap player, I don't mind it. I think he's great, but I don't want him to be sort of the main focus, because
all dependent on price, like you said. I mean, 30 million pounds. How high would you go, Jay, with this offer? How high would you pay for him?
As Nard was saying, he is like their main man, and as I said earlier, I think Eze can play a massive factor in this. I think Eze's release clause is at 68 or something daft like that.
Yeah.
I think if Eze goes, as well as we're linked with Guay here, I think if Eze goes, they put the price up even more because they're like, right, we've lost our main man. If we're going to lose Mateta as well, we need to, get as much in as possible. So I think the Eze transfer factors in a lot for the Mateta thing as well. But as a Liverpool fan, I think anything more than 50, silly.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I'd probably go up to 40, 45. But then we've got a big problem, haven't we? Because we're on Margay as well. Are Palace going to sell 2 players to us? I highly doubt it. So if we are going to get Mateta, I think Margay probably off the table.
Yeah.
Now, do you agree?
Yeah, I'd rather get Gay than Mateta.
I'd rather a defender, yeah.
I'd rather get him just because of how he is already. Like he's only very young in centre back. He's a 24. He's just 23. He's England's best centre back. You're getting him for 45 million. It makes complete sense. And he's, he comes in to challenge Konate, which is what Quanta didn't do last season. And I think, in terms of ball playing, Gay's probably one of the best in the Premier League in terms of being on the ball. And I think, Slot is very, very, very on that with it. He likes his players to be good on the ball. That's why Curtis Jones got a lot of minutes last season, because he is that. He's good on the ball. I mean, he obviously holds on to it a little bit too long sometimes. We know that. But, he is good on the ball. And I think that's why he, more in them positions, Endo is probably not the best on the ball in terms of in them positions. Gravenberch, obviously, unbelievable on the ball. So that's why I think we didn't see a lot of rotation with Endo and Gravenberch last season. He likes possession. He likes them to keep the ball.
Yeah.
One for me, 100% Gay.
Yeah.
He said he went for quite a bit of money. It was 11 million euros with Mateta.
Was it? Where have I got 30?
Yeah, I don't know. 11 million euros from Mainz.
I'm thinking of Ismail Assar.
Before we do go to a different link as well, make sure you do hit that like button if you are joining us tonight for the first time as well. If you are joining us for the first time tonight, hit that subscribe button as well. We are on 799 subscribers. Just one subscriber, guys. One subscriber tonight would hit that 800. Don't let me see that 799. It's playing with my mind that is 799 there. One more subscriber will hit that 800. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and whatever from there, after that is just unbelievable. Thank you everyone that has subscribed so far. Thank you everyone that does like the videos and gets in the comments as well. Carry on with the striking options, the forward options. Christopher Nkunku is another player that we have been linked to in recent hours. L'Equipe are the ones that have said this as well. Well, Nkunku will leave Chelsea to avoid missing the World Cup 2026. His valuation is £35 million. Liverpool, Inter Milan and Man United have all made inquiries, but Bayern Munich and Liverpool have other priorities at the moment. So, Nkunku, Naj, we have previously been linked to Nkunku before we got Darwin Nunez. We decided to go with Darwin Nunez instead of Nkunku. A player that can sort of play more of a false 9 rather than an actual 9, I'd say. Can play in multiple positions as well, so got versatility to him. £35 million though, Naj, probably would have to come in as a squad player, I think, right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want him to be a starter, I'll say that. But backup player. See, that's a backup player like Nkunku.
Yeah.
Valued at a high, he was 60 million, wasn't he, for Chelsea a few years back?
Yeah.
He was very, very, very good at Leipzig. Very, very good. And, obviously he had a really bad injury. I don't think with Nkunku, I don't think it's to do with his ability. I think it's literally like there's so many players at Chelsea. If you're just not in that pecking order, you're just going to keep going down. I don't think it's to do. I think he's got a lot of ability. So for a backup, I'm all for it. 35 million for a backup. That does me good. Like, I think that's great. Yeah.
Go on, mate. Keep going.
It's difficult to work out because we obviously are looking for essentially two or three more signings, aren't we? Really, and 2 of them are in attacking areas. obviously one defensively. So it's interesting to see. Like, if Liverpool go for Nkunku and Rodrygo, where does that put us in terms of striker? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Nkunku would have to be that striker, or Diaz. That's a Diaz. We don't know what's going on with Diaz, whether he stays or not. Gakpo could go up front. I don't know. Or do we keep Nunez? That's another question to be asked. And this is why, really, we are in the situation that we are in terms of striker, because Nunez is the one that could potentially be going out. And reports again coming out about Nunez today. There was a report about Nunez. That there's a meeting today, according to Cora Sport, which is an Italian outlet. Expected a meeting today between Napoli, obviously Darwin Nunez. What Napoli wanting to happen is what we've always been saying, is that they want Liverpool to loosen up a little bit in terms of the deal, or the deal will collapse. And Romano also backed this up regarding Nunez as well. Nunez is continuing to wait for Napoli as well. So Napoli wants Nunez. Nunez wants Napoli. The issue is, and we've been saying this for the last few weeks, is Liverpool have put a massive price tag on him, Jake. Do you think Liverpool do loosen up a little bit? Because we have expected other clubs to loosen up a little bit on theirs. Will Liverpool do the same?
I think we kind of have to if we do want him to go, because let's not beat around the bush. Nunez hasn't been the player we all expected him to be when he came in. Don't get me wrong, here and there, he'll do things that you're like, wow. But more often than not, you do look at Nunez and you're like, oh, like, what are you doing? Like, oh, you're missing chances and stuff. And for me, I've always said, luckily it didn't bite us on the bum last year, but the chances he does miss and the stuff he does, it's like, what are you doing? So I think for me, if we're going to get rid of him, you have got to sort of loosen it up a bit and like negotiate. Like, you can't just, you got to value him at what he's actually worth. And, you know, did we pay something like 70, 80 for him? He's not worth that now. He's just not. So I think we have to loosen up, yeah, because it's just it's unrealistic if we're putting silly price tags on him, I think.
£52 million is the reported fee which we have put on Nunez.
Yeah.
And me and Nigel have had many chats about this. Is it worth £52 million right now? It was never worth the 78 million that we paid for it in the first place. But is it worth £52 million now? The answer probably. I don't know. I don't think he is. I know it's a striker. I know it's a striker's position, and he probably could actually bag quite a lot elsewhere. So therefore, he might actually turn out to be a £52 million striker. But right now, if you're looking at it right now, they play well at the weekend against Preston. His first goal was composure. Second goal, awareness was there. Where's that awareness been all season? I don't know.
Yeah.
But he does come up with moments like it's a moment player, isn't it? It's a bit, and he goes come up with moments like, oh, do we give him a chance? Does he reel us back in? And that's what he seems to have done at the weekend, He's reeled quite a lot of people back in. But I was thinking, no, it's pre-season, it's Preston, and let's just see what happens in the season. But this has been 3 seasons now, Naj. It's been 3 seasons, and he's always done something in pre-season to say, oh, let's reel back in. And it's never happened. It's never come to fruition. But, however, one thing Romano did also say as well is that he has important opportunities in Saudi Arabia. So if he can't wait for Napoli forever, Saudi Arabian teams are in for him. Will the Saudi Arabian teams play the 52 million now? That's the question.
It's good news that, to be honest, like them saying that, because it means that he's sort of going to go in no matter what. Like, he's going to go anyway. Saudi, yeah, 52, easy. I think you get that, no problem. A lot of players have gone for a lot more than that who are not as good as Nunez, dare I say that. I did a video, obviously, on my channel the other day and got some absolute pelters for it about saying I'd rather keep Nunez than get Ekitike. I'll stand on that hill. I'd rather would, because I just don't think it makes no sense to me that when you've already got someone who's of a similar ability at the club. I think with Nunez, he just needs to go for like sort of the good of his career, doesn't he? Really, like there's no reason why he can't go to Italy, which is sort of like it's not as a you get more
not fast pace, is it?
Yeah, you get more time in Italy.
Yeah.
So you can. So I know it's a very defensive league. Don't get me wrong, it is. The Italians love the defending, but I just think, Nunez, like he's playing against like Torino or something. Like he's gonna get so much more time than if he's playing against I don't know, a Thomas Frank Brent. Like, sort of, the quality is a lot different in the Premier League. I'm not saying he's not Premier League quality. We obviously bought him because we thought he was. I just think he's got a lot more. There's just more time in a country like Italy for on the ball in front of goal. I think it's good for him if he goes there. But yeah, 52 mils too much. 45, I think. Cut the losses. 76 million is what we paid up to now for Darwin Nunez. So that'll be loss of 30 mil. We've lost more than that on players before. Do you know what I mean? So it's not the end of the world. It recuperates some money back from Wirtz. Still got more options. Yeah, Elliott's probably going to end up going. Doak, Morton maybe as well. So Tsimikas. There's a few there anyway. So Nunez going will be good for himself, I think. But puts us in a position where we've got to get 2 forwards then, haven't we? If Nunez does go.
Yeah, because then we'll end up like Arsenal, no strikers, and it's like, yeah.
It would be a big problem, and it's a shame with Nunez because I think there's not many people out there when we bought Nunez. There's not many people out there who were against the move. I thought, well, all like, yes, we've actually got a striker because he absolutely ran us ragged, in the Champions League.
Yeah,
the guy finished about 5 chances, 3 of them offside, but his finishes were incredible.
Yeah,
his finishes were incredible. So it's like we're looking at it and thinking, oh yeah, we'll have that player. And I was excited about the signing. Thought, yeah, it's a good signing. I even wrote an article about him comparing him to Haaland, and like, what how are these going to actually? Because that's what it was. The comparison was against Haaland, and I thought, we create so many chances. He's going to get so many chances. And by what I wrote in the article, it was actually correct about how many chances we create for him. I just didn't know we were going to miss so many.
Yeah.
Realistically, if you look at it from this point of view, this is what I try and look at it with Nunez. It's like he's done okay. He's not done awful. People like to say, "Oh, he's worse than Andy Carroll." He's not. He isn't worse than Andy Carroll. He isn't worse than Benteke. He is. We know that. Just the standards of Liverpool are a lot higher now. If you think about it, Nunez should have really come out with 20 Premier League goals in the season over the last 3 years, and he hasn't got anywhere near that. So that's sort of the issue with it, isn't it? Like, you look at it and go, hang on, we create some like unbelievable chances, and we just need someone to put them in the back of the net at times, and we just don't have that. And yeah, I said that, I put on my Twitter a while ago, if Origi had the fitness of Nunez, if it was at Liverpool, he'd probably have 20 goals a season.
Yeah.
And just Nunez, I don't know, he's just not got that goal in front of goal composure that we want. It's not even that though, is it? Sometimes he misses from like an open goal. I'm just like, ow.
And it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Players sometimes work at club, players sometimes don't work at club. Go back to Chelsea. They got rid of Kevin De Bruyne. They got rid of Mohamed Salah. They didn't work at the club. And look at them now. They've gone on, did what they did in Europe, come back. Maybe Nunez, he's not old, Nunez, so he's still got time on his hands. He might be able to go to Europe and then come back in the Premier League at some point. Having learned and having got his composure and things like that got better, there's always that option for him. But right now, is Liverpool the right place for him? Probably not. That's the harsh truth of it all, is. And does he work somewhere else? Absolutely, he could do easily work somewhere else. Absolutely can. But yeah, right now, I think Nunez, for me, has to go still. And then obviously, an Isak coming in would be perfect, and then maybe another forward as well. Isak and Rodrigo was just ridiculous. Diaz obviously still up in the air. We don't know what's going on with Diaz. Konate, again, another player that is still up in the air. Another player that we're just going to cover before we do go as well is Ben Doak. Obviously played well against Preston. Well, sometimes he made mistakes, but he kept going and kept going. I think that's what you need to see in the youngsters. Ben Doak has got interest from PSV and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest is now wanting to get in the race of Ben Doak. £25 million though is what we're asking for him, Jake. I think that's a bit too much for a player that's just played Championship football for a year.
It's a bit cheeky, isn't it? We've tried to be a bit cheeky there. But yeah, the quality is there with Ben Doak. He's still really young. Looked really promising, obviously, before he went out on loan, had his injuries and stuff, which is unfortunate, but he's young. He's going to have injuries. He's got so much more time to develop. But yeah, a bit cheeky from us. that much, I think.
Are we getting 25 million though, Naj, for Ben Doak?
Yeah, we will. Do you know why? Because Michael Edwards.
You know what? If he pulls off 25 million for Ben Doak, that is ridiculous. Then again, we did get for 21. What was it? 21 million for Brian Brewster.
Yeah,
2 million.
Yeah, something like that.
Sepp van der Berg, we got like 20 odd million off.
Yeah.
Last season for Sepp van der Berg. And Carvalho, we paid 10 mil for Carvalho, we sold like 25, something like that. Like, Edwards is just the master of selling. He's just he's the master of selling players. I think I see no reason why we can't get 25 mil for him. You know, if he's got talent though, hasn't he? Like, you can quite clearly see that. I just don't think he's got that future at Liverpool because of who's in front of him.
It's a bit like Martin and Elliott, isn't it, really? It's quite similar.
Who's in front of them, isn't it? It's just like the players in front of him are so good and so like they're the best in the world for them positions. Like, you're just not going to get in. You're not going to get in front of Salah at all. Like, you're not going to get in front of Gravenberg. You're not going to get in front of Wirtz, who's just come in, obviously. Them players are like, some of the best players in the world you're talking about. And like, you kind of, they're injured or they're out with an injury or something like that. But are you going to get in front of them then? Probably not. Curtis Jones plays, probably had played in front of you. It's difficult, isn't it? And I think with Doak, tell him why he stopped that. Because if he stays a year at Liverpool, we ain't going to get that money for him. If he goes out on loan as another good loan, we could do again. But I don't know. Maybe he goes out on another loan. We'll see.
Yeah. I think a loan's best for him because, as you said, he's not getting another Salah. Definitely not getting on the left. So, as you said, if they've put 25 mil on him now, try and cash in because he's got to sit on the bench, maybe make a couple of Carabao FA Cup appearances, look okay, maybe get a goal or a couple of assists, but then it's like next year is it like 15 million now? Does it hurt his value by staying another year?
I wonder if we do something like we did with Kwanzaa, where we put a buyback.
A buyback, on him. Yeah, probably.
I think
because just in case it does become unbelievable, we can buy him back. Which he has got potential, but it's all again relying on that potential. I think regarding the ceilings, I think also Trey Ionis is higher in terms of youngsters. Via Engamoas is higher for me. Ceilings, I think Jaden Dan's is higher.
Yeah.
So right now, I think it probably would be best to either sell him or loan him out again. Sell him, but make sure we put a buyback clause on him. So breaking news on terms of Newcastle as well, guys. Newcastle fans, if you are still here watching, thank you for keeping on with us. Don't shoot the messenger, please. Do not. This account to Lee Ryder, who is a Newcastle writer for the Chronicle, so he knows is obviously writes about Newcastle only. There remains caution at Newcastle given the PSR restrictions behind the scenes and the huge price tag for Ekitike. The stance from Toons Chiefs is that that players could be sold in order to help raise funds for the star, who has the £86 million release clause.
Yeah.
Naj, what players could they sell?
Nick Pope.
I
mean, you know what? Just for Newcastle fans, give me a top three of players you want from Newcastle.
I already know the one. They're going to say straight away. Gordon. They're going to say every single person says Gordon.
I think Newcastle fans right now would happily sacrifice Gordon so we don't go near Isak or anyone else.
Of course they would.
But give me a top three. Give me top three Newcastle players that you want right now. Because they need to sell if they want to get Ekitike, according to the report.
I'd say this: the most valuable players right now, excluding Isak.
Who would you want, though? Who would you want? It doesn't have to be valuable. Who would you want?
Who would I want from Newcastle?
Yeah, top three.
Guimaraes, like really.
Bruno.
Guimaraes would be unreal. Yeah. Should we just take Guimaraes and Isak and see what Newcastle fans do about it?
Fall off. Might fall off of that.
X would be shut down for at least a week.
The most valuable players for Newcastle, excluding Isak, though, are Gordon, Tonali, and Guimaraes. They're the three probably most players. Outside of that, probably looking at Livramento for that probably. Are they gonna sell any of them players? I don't think they would. Like,
What do you think about? Sorry, what do you think about Botman?
Made of glass, made of poppadoms.
He's a good player, though, isn't he? Yeah, I get that. Yeah, but he's a good player.
We Liverpool looked at him like a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Really keen on it because it's obviously seen him play in the French league. He looked pretty decent, and I thought, yeah, he looks sound, and he's just. I can't even remember seeing him fit for 5 games in Newcastle in 3 seasons. He's not. He hasn't been. I don't think he has. I think he's been just completely. He'll come back home to you and he'd be like out for another 4 months. It's just not for me.
So Isak again, guys, Newcastle fans, we talk about hope more than expectation regarding Isak. All these reports coming out about you need to sell players now. Ekitike is coming in, so you need to sell players for Ekitike to come in. All it's doing right now is just adding to the fire of our hope for Isak. It really is. You are literally just adding more and more spices to your curry. That's what you're doing. And I will happily sit on the toilet in the morning shitting out an Isak hope. I will. I absolutely will. I don't care how many spices you add to my curry. I am getting more hopeful for this Isak move, and I won't stop talking about it. As much as Newcastle fans will want to cry about it, I will not start talking about Isak. That is what is going on right now. That is the news that is coming out right now. We've got to cover Isak. Isak is our number 1 target for striker position. And if Newcastle fans are worried, if Newcastle, the club itself, are worried about PSR and getting Ekitike for that money, they need to sell some players. They can throw Gordon on us all they want. We might not go get Gordon. The only way we go get Gordon, if Diaz does go, and Gordon, that could be a player we'd potentially go for. Mm. And there's a lot of people that don't want Gordon and things like that. I think he's a good player. I think it'd be unfair on him to write him off, but he's not the one that everyone wants.
No.
I don't think he's the one that the club wants either.
No.
Don't want the club on him. I don't think. I don't. I think Gordon's a good player. Don't get me wrong. I think he's brilliant. He's not an upgrade on Diaz at all. Like he isn't. He's not an upgrade on Gakpo at all. No. So you're buying potential, aren't you? You're gonna get potential with Gordon. Like he could hit very high levels, but I failed to see after last season he wasn't great. The season before he was brilliant. It was fantastic. Last season Newcastle been a really, really good. Harvey Barnes is playing
more, yeah.
That sort of tells a lot of things to me. Like they were asking for 100 million, weren't they, last year or something for Gordon, 80 million or something like that.
And he wanted us last year.
Yeah. I know he does because he's a Liverpool fan, but I don't think he's a bad player. By the way, if he comes to Liverpool,
no, he's good. He's a good player. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, it's a bit like the Madueke signing to Arsenal. I don't think he's a bad player. I think the money, the price that is being given, and the fact that Arsenal can't stand buying from Chelsea players because there's not a good experience of that. I think it's just one of the Arsenal fans that they're playing that sort of money. But Gordon's not a bad signing if we were to get it. Obviously, he's going to be behind a competition for Gakpo anyway. At least we've got Gakpo. It's not like Gordon's coming in and they ain't got anyone else on that left wing.
Yeah.
But our minds are on Isak and Isak only for me, and I think just for hypothetical, just for argument's sake, Jake, what would be the fee you think Newcastle will accept for Isak?
I have no idea. As you said, with the PSR stuff and whatever, I don't think numbers go that high for what Newcastle would want for Isak. As you said, he's so valued there. The Geordies love him. As you said, I don't know. It'll be over 100, definitely. Over 100. Probably looking at about 115, I reckon. Just over 100. I don't know. It'd be something silly.
I presume we'd have to do we'd have to do a lot of add-ons.
Yeah.
And installments onto that.
Yeah.
So the dream is, guys, Isak, Rodrigo, Salah, Wirtz as a front four, but that's where it is. Rodrigo, obviously, just to cover the rest of tonight's news, obviously Rodrigo was linked to Liverpool because Real Madrid don't want him anymore, or whatever's happened between Rodrigo and Real Madrid, we don't really know. But Rodrigo is a possibility to Liverpool. Mateta has been linked to Liverpool today alongside Christopher Nkunku as well. But the Isak situation is not going anywhere anytime soon. Whether Newcastle fans like it or not, this could be going on for the next a month, basically until the end of the transfer window. This could be going on up right until the end of the transfer window. If Newcastle do sign Ekitike for 89 million, then it does, for me, whether the door's shut right now or not, I think it does open the door slightly for Liverpool for Isak. And like I said before, if the door is slightly open, I think we push it. I do. Normally in the past we've been slamming it shut, padlocking, double lock, and double glazing on the window side. But right now it seems like Liverpool a bit more ambitious in the transfer window. We've already seen that. I think they do push that Isak door if it slightly opens just a tad bit. But yeah, thank you everyone for watching tonight. Make sure you do hit that like button on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new as well. We are one subscriber off 800. One. That is an OCD nightmare. Please make it 800. Please. Also, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. We've got some big plans coming up for the season. We've got some new shows coming out. We've got some more shows coming out as well. We've got morning shows regular now. So we may have a morning show tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to get things sorted and put in place first for 10 o'clock. But I will be here 10 o'clock Wednesday morning. Jake will be hosting Wednesday night. So make sure you do look after him for me. Jake will, I'm sure, do an absolute storming job on Wednesday night. I will then be back again 10 o'clock Thursday morning. And then my next evening one will be Friday night. But I think Stu is taking over for Thursday night this week. So yeah, make sure you do subscribe to the channel if you are new and get your notification bells on as well, because it will let you know when we are live. Thank you everyone for watching, guys. And Newcastle fans,